Hey guys, Damon Owens here. I want to talk to you about attachment styles and dating. Have you ever been baffled about why your date texts or calls or emails every 30 minutes? Or the other side, won't return a text for 3 days after a fantastic date? There's always that baffling, like, am I talking too much? Am I reaching out too little? How am I supposed to respond? Lots of thousands of ways. Well, one helpful way to understand and interpret behaviors like this is what we call attachment styles. It's not a magic formula. It's a theory. And it's a very helpful theory. It's a tool to help understand the ways that every relationship moves toward real intimacy. We're all unique and unrepeatable. That means all of our relationships are unique and unrepeatable. But there are some familiar patterns that happen. If you're not familiar with attachment styles, it's part of attachment theory that's meant to help us understand the way we connect and don't connect based on the dominant dynamics of our relationship with other people. There are lots of variations in this, so we'll take sort of a simplistic view. I highly encourage you to read some of the great authors and the other sort of perspectives that are out there. But we're going to talk about our variations in the way attachment theory helps us to see descriptive categories about our styles. And what you'll read is that there are three. What we're called avoidant style, avoidant, anxious style, or a secure style. Now, broadly speaking, these are descriptions of individual relationships at any particular time. So don't take these on as personality traits. Oh, I'm anxious. Oh, I'm avoidant. Oh, I'm secure. No, and don't think that one of these experienced in a relationship will mean that all of your experiences in relationships will be that way. They won't. And in fact, within a relationship, you can move from secure to anxious to, avoidant. It's possible. Usually there's a pattern and you can see it across the relationship, but don't box yourself in. Again, this is not proscriptive. It's meant to be descriptive. And the reason that we describe is so that we can be aware and that we can navigate these. It's not to put people in boxes, right? There's no moral judgment to the relationship with these categories. It's not a moral judgment. Oh, you're secure, you're not secure. And maybe that's a fault of some of the language. And because it's not permanent of you or of the relationship as a whole, you can navigate in each of these particular situations toward intimacy. None of them are a death sentence. None of them are sort of like the alarm that the relationship is going bad. It means that for a particular issue, particular time, or for a particular person, here's how to communicate. Here's how to make sure that your heart message can be heard, that you can receive from your partner their heart message without being blocked or confused or triggered by the way that it's being expressed here, right? Again, not a character description of your personality and shouldn't set off any kind of alarms about the quality or even the goodness of your relationship. This is very important to understand. Having a secure relationship doesn't necessarily mean that you're a more secure person, any more than having an anxious or an avoidant relationship means that you're anxious or avoidant as a personality. Okay, so let's get to it. What this describes is the posture or the way that we interact in a particular moment as we move toward intimacy, right? A secure attachment can be described as being at peace with ourselves and our role in the relationship, our peace with our partner and their engagement or place in the relationship. It's that accepting place where, we don't always get what we want, but we're recognizing that this relationship is good. We can be ourselves. We can stay on our own page and our own paper, and this other person can be themselves, and that we're getting to know each other. That's kind of a secure relationship. An anxious attachment style is typically one that needs constant affirmation, constant assurance that you're still with me. Sort of that constant feel, almost like the blind person that's touching, or someone just to make sure. See sometimes these in little kids who are have an anxious attachment style where they always need to keep a hand on, or maybe they nurse a lot. It's good to understand this, right? So it's that constant reassuring of how you feel right now about our relationship and how you feel about me. And, of course, we all need some kind of assurance at some point, right? This isn't a defect. We need some kind of affirmation. But the anxious style operates more consistently in need of that assurance. This is the constant texting, the calling, whatever you want, because there's a certain sense that it's more important that we're connected, and I know that we're connected, than it is about getting anything else that I want. That's anxious. Then we have the avoidant attachment style. And this one is when there's a strong sense of overwhelm when we get too close, when someone else gets really too close. You need space. You need separation. You need time alone just to recharge, right? When things get too intense. You have a good time. It's not that you don't like the person, you do, but something in you just says, I need space. I need time. And you enjoy that time together, right? And the intimacy, whatever level it is. But after a certain point, again, you need your space. The good news is that for each of these combinations of relationship between secure and anxious and avoidant, there are particular tips and skills that you can learn to continue to grow into a healthy relationship. On the one hand, there are real needs, desires, and wants that each of us has in our relationships. And the ability to meet those needs is still the right measure of our relationship, right? But knowing that you're dealing with an anxious attachment style or an avoidant or a secure doesn't mean you have to answer every text, every voicemail, or every email. But it does mean that you need to find a way to affirm the underlying heart message, that your partner is seen. I see you. I know you. I love you. I don't communicate this way. I need my space, but it really is, I enjoy you. I'm delighted by you. You are good. Whatever's true. And that point of the relationship needs to be communicated in a way, especially if you're avoidant, to an anxious. And conversely, if your attachment style is anxious, you need to know whether your constant bids for affection, attention, and affirmation are the only way that your partner can communicate his commitment to you. Maybe he really was too busy at work to respond right away. And it's not an indictment or a sense of where you are in the relationship. Maybe he needs that time or she needs that time and space in order to be more present to you later. And knowing that ought to provide you with some kind of peace, that maybe your bids of affection are being received by them as bids for control through a lens of his avoidance style, or her avoidance style. So again, it's about how we're received, even though there's a deeper heart message of what we need. We're expressing it's a bit of affection that we want to know, like, are you hearing me? Are you with me? Are you with me? But finding new ways to receive that and new ways to understand how that communication is the key of navigating each of these different relationship styles. In our Epic Intimacy with Joyful Ever After, our ministry, our marriage ministry, we consider learning and understanding these attachment styles as part of the I in our Epic Intimacy: emotional, physical, intellectual, communicative. That's Epic. And Epic Intimacy, we help couples to work through. And this part of intellectual intimacy includes attachment styles and love languages and conflict styles and temperaments. There's a whole bunch of these categories. And again, we have no goals to change or control each other when we understand these systems, but we name these attachment styles or conflict styles or temperaments or whatever they are as part of relationship tools. And as I said earlier, they're meant to be descriptive, not prescriptive, like this is who you are. They're not permanent fixed marks, but they help us categorize for understanding and for clarity. They're meant to help us to love ourselves and to love each other as we are, not as we want someone else to be. So being attentive to these styles in ourselves and in our dates, our partners, or our spouses eventually, it helps us to sort out through all the static, through all the distractions of how we communicate with each other to get right to that heart message. Do you love me? Do you love me for who I am or what I do or perform? Are you willing and capable of loving me? That's the heart message. Are you with me? And in that sense, attachment styles are a beautiful help and a tool to help you do it. That's plenty for now. It's a lot. But remember, Catholic Match is here to help you to be more successful in your search to find your forever love. So drop us comments, requests for topics that you want me to cover in future episodes. And of course, be sure to smash that subscribe button to get the notification bell so you can be alerted when we have new videos. Again, my privilege being with you, Damon Owens, and we'll see you soon.